So who the heck forgot to tell me that they were doing a DC and Transformers Energon crossover? Hello everyone, CG back, and today we're going to be doing a review of Transformers Energon Sideways. Give me a second. Here's the box. Thank you, Walmart of America, not sponsored. Now, Sideways, getting into the figure, I guess. Sideways is actually a really cool figure. I'm sure you've probably seen a review or two online. I do not have the old figure. I've never had the old figure, so I don't know how bad it is in comparison. But I really do love this figure. Removing all the weapons real quick, which, just so you can see them. Blade 1, Blade 2, which, let me get my other stand. Okay, here you are. So these are all the accessories that Sideways comes with. The shield, quote unquote, even though it's literally a freaking crossbow. Like, this is what it turns into when it's on shield mode. The twin swords, which can become their own sort of bow and arrow, or double-sided sort of sword, or can be wielded like twin upside-down daggers, and the, I believe it's called the Cyber Planet Key, or like a Cyber Key or whatever. This plugs into the back of this. You see this little slot here? The black piece on the key plugs into this. And from what I understand, the key had the gimmick of swapping the shield's logo from Autobot to Decepticon. Now, there is 2 clicks on this thing. I'm not sure if you heard it, but there is 2 clicks. Now, there's a little tab which you can push forward right here. And this is just awesome. This is the first Transformer I've actually ever been happy to have, because this is one of the coolest ones. Favorite color is orange for a reason, and I just love the paint scheme. I love how the lime green is only on the shield. It's literally only on the shield, and it breaks up extremely well for all of it. Moving into the figure, Sideways himself is gorgeous. Literally, absolutely beautiful. And I freaking love this head sculpt. Moving these back and everything. To try and get that in focus, because apparently it wants to take a look at the cockpit, because the cockpit looks like a head. I love this Transformers Prime kind of head sculpt, because it looks like Transformers Prime Soundwave to me. I love the Batman head sculpt. It's so cool. And the fact that he just doesn't have a face. Come on. Posability? Let's see. Where do I begin? Head is on a ball joint. Can look up that much, can't look down that much. Literally, like, no room can do that for side to side. Arms are on sort of hinge-out universal joints. So at the shoulder, 180. And as you can see here, a hinge in the elbow. Mushroom peg at the forearm. Hinge joint here at the elbow, I guess. And wrist articulation. We'll get into why this feels a little weird to me later. And then at the torso rotation. Not even for transformation, it's just there. However, what is for the transformation is this little bit of ab crunch you can get. Like, literally, that is an ab crunch. That, however, is for the function of the transformation. At the legs, as you can see, we have a universal ball joint with can't kick out, 90 degrees, but if you rotate the peg a little and have the bigger piece out, can rotate. If I can get this to work all that great, have the arm like that, can rotate go over 90 degrees if you really wanted to do that. Anyways, as you see, knees are on double mushroom peg. Actual knees can go all the way back for transformation. And also have this... I don't know about everyone else, but on my copy, you hear that, the little click. That is not supposed to be there, but I think it's okay. It's gotten less audible over the day, so I'm imagining it's just plastic wearing down. And then we have... Technically, we have a little bit of toe rocker and ankle rocker. So you can get some really good poses with this guy. I, however, am not the greatest at posing, as you've seen. Of course, if you've seen that the thumbnail, I've been getting better. Jesus. But yeah, let's get all his gear back on real quick so you can see how cool he looks loaded out. One thing I forgot to show about the shield is that the little orange peg folds in and out for both vehicle and bot mode. In for vehicle, out for bot, which, yeah. And this is what he looks like with all his gear. Now, a lot of people might have the blades reversed or like swapped. So this blade would be on this leg and this blade would be on this leg, so the blades are facing backwards. I, however, have him like this because, well, he can just do that, bring up his leg as close as you can to the arm, and, come on. You gotta remember these things are robots, so they can do stuff we can't. But yeah, as you saw, this is seriously still cool, though. I love the gold, I love the orange, I love the silver. And the forearm's a little off. Fuck. Wrong with the torso for whatever reason. Can never feel like I get that straight. But yeah, no, this is still one of the coolest Transformers I've ever seen, and one of the coolest cases of parts forming that I've ever goddamn seen in a Transformer. However, let's get into the singular problem two problems I have with my figure. The clicking, that's fine. The clicking on the legs, that's fine. That'll wear down over time. My problem is purely aesthetic. And, well, with one other thing. That's in vehicle mode, though. My problem aesthetically with the bot mode, it's nothing with the paint, it's nothing to do with most of it. It's just here with the forearms. I know some people are okay with it. I can deal with it. It's just odd. At least it's the same on both arms. But yeah, that's his robot mode with crossbow and everything. However, the crossbow is not the only thing he can wield, because as you can see, the blades I showed you are plugged into his legs sideways. So these twin blades have 2 pegs on the inside, or a peg on the inside, which if I can get that to focus, yeah, there you go, and a peg on the bottom that looks like a hilt. So he can use them like that, and just have twin swords. Or, his hands are big enough to do this, by the way. If only his forearms were a little longer. Because he can also make another freaking bow. Or like a double-bladed sword. If you want, you can also just hook them into the forearm. There we go. Or do the same thing but just do it in the hand. Now, one problem with this is that the peg, well, the hand is a little shorter under this little vent, as you can see, than it is on the other side. So it's not easy to do, but you can do it. Alright. Now then, let's get into the boys' vehicle mode. Now, starting off with the head, I'm going to zoom out for this a little. Starting off with the head, reach right here under the, I guess what is the sort of owl-looking head. Lift up the head out of the pinwheel. Now, this is like a plastic ratchet, so rotate up fully, rotate the head 180 degrees, get 2 more clicks in, and the base of the head will slot into here. Nice and snug. Close it over the head, you'll see the... also, make sure this is as flat as you can get it against the bottom of the cockpit. Then close it over. That just gives this teeth, pretty much. Next, we'll be going to the back. Lift up these 2 back plates, and you'll see this odd-looking double hinge. Use the ab crunch I showed you from earlier to separate this back piece from the actual upper torso. Next, lift up the forearm straight, but flip the forearm so that the gold is facing the bottom. And now, you want to rotate the forearms separate from the shoulders so that the opening part is facing the front. And then you want this. And then here's the peg you need to worry about. Here's the peg hole. You want the fist of the hand to be facing the peg. You want the fingers of the hand to be facing this peg. Now, pull it back and rotate it in. Then make sure it's as flush as you can get it with the backpack. Up, open. The open part will now face forward. Get that flat. And then this arm has 2 pegs. Just face it the one that's almost completely off the forearm. Pull the arm back. Then you'll have to move the other forearm for this, because now, if you have it right, both forearms will peg together. Straighten the hands a little, and get the rest of it in place, and it will fairly smoothly come together. Alright. And make sure these are as tight as you can get it, because once we get the next step done, you won't be able to access it unless you undo it. So, grab the lower torso, or, well, crotch, and grab what was the lower end of the torso, and rotate it back up. And you may have to fidget with the arms a little, because this little slot that I hope you can see here will go between the forearm areas, or what were the forearm areas, and click into place. It shouldn't click that bad, but I'm not worried about it for my copy. Alright, now, flip up the last of the torso. Put your finger on the universal joints on the small peg. Rotate the legs. Open the leg entirely. Pinch the heel into the foot. And get it as flat as you can without tilting the ankle rocker. Pull it back and crunch it in till you hear that. Now you're going to plug in the foot, and then on the leg, you see this? That'll plug into here, where my nail is into the backpack. So you just got to line it all up. There. And then plug it into this. As well as you can get it. Do the same thing with the other leg. Pinch this together. Fold the leg in. Just get that in place. And then peg the leg in. Voila! There you have Sideways' vehicle mode. Now, lowering it. I probably should have done size comparisons earlier, but whatever. Now, this is where the parts forming comes in, because this, folding up the peg, will now plug into the top of the vehicle mode. And make sure to get it as tight as you can in the back pegs primarily, because otherwise it'll just fall off. This will plug in here with this peg hole and this little indent. And there's this little 2 sets of pegs that will just mostly flushly plug in. Same on this side. And voila! There is Sideways in his vehicle mode. And now, for size comparison, we have Power Prime Bumblebee, RID 2015. We have a Studio Series figure, I believe Shadow something. I always forget his name. We have the Battle Armor Sideswipe, 2015, as well as Blackjack. Anyways, that's all our vehicular size comparisons. Let's get this back to robot mode. Now getting into robot height comparisons. Robots in Disguise, 2015, Power Prime Bumblebee. Moving over to Age of the Primes. Mind you, both of these are from Age of the Primes, or are from the Age of the Primes line. Prima Prime, which, another thing I probably forgot to mention, Sideswipe here also has the leg locks like Prima for transformation. So, yeah. And next up we have Studio 86 Bumblebee. Not Bumblebee, frig. Rodimus. And here I am. These two being my favorite figures now. These two are roughly the same size, probably because they're the same class. But just give me a rough second. Alright, got what I needed. So, Sideways, if you're wondering, is roughly 6-ish inches tall. Just eyeing it. Anyways, that will be my review of Transformers Energon Age of the Primes Sideswipe. This is CG, signing off.